Hey everybody, I'm down here at Aqua Butler, about 40 miles from my house, and I stopped by this aviation RC plane field, and there's a guy out here, and I'm gonna see if he'll let me interview him. Well, here, I'm gonna get out. How you doing?
Hey,
You mind if I interview you?
Sure.
There's a lot more Airbnbs in here and stuff.
How you doing
Yeah,
today?
my name's Tony.
I'm Paul.
I've got a YouTube channel, and
yeah.
I just out riding around, live down the road, and it's just some videos. I hadn't got but about 27 of them out, but I'm just traveling around, and
What kind of channel is it?
it's just a YouTube channel.
But I mean, are you an RV guy or a
No,
no?
no, I'm just a
RC
retired truck
guy?
driver. I'm fixing to sell my house and fixing to start traveling, and I thought I'd just do something for a hobby about like what you're doing.
Where you live now?
I live on Horn Lake, down there on DeSoto
you're
Road.
here in Mississippi. Okay.
Yeah.
I moved out from California like 12 years ago.
Oh, really?
Turned out to be the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I lived down in San Jose for 3 years. Did tree work for PG&E,
Okay,
clearing the power lines.
I was up in Tahoe City for
Yeah.
about 21 years.
I got married in Lake
Trucking.
Tahoe, which it wasn't legal. She was still married to her first husband.
But I grew up down in Southern Cal, South Orange County. And after the Rodney King riots, I got my own
Oh
side
yeah,
of the
yeah,
city.
that was a mess, wasn't it?
And I got spoiled up there in the mountains, living at 6,000 foot. My sister lives over here in Snowden Grove,
Yeah,
and my mom was down by Carson City, Gardnerville, and she got Alzheimer's real bad, so she moved out here to Snowden Grove, and I came out this way, saw Snowden Grove and South Haven, and said, "Man, this is
right.
L.A. I got to get out of here."
Yeah,
So I moved down to Luxahoma, Tyro, about 12 miles east of Senatobia, Como, out in the fields.
I've got an aunt that just moved from Carson City up here to Holly Springs.
She'll love
Bought
it.
a double wide. My mom's, her husband was Denny Williams, did
Oh, yeah.
pest control. How long have you been doing the hobby stuff? Huh?
About when I moved out here, I bought these drones, and I was going to start a business. I started seeing red flags with the business
Right.
I was doing.
EPA and all that, whatever it is.
Well, I'm not a real big computer guy,
Yeah,
and so I started getting more into airplanes
right.
and taught myself to fly in my front yard because I'm out in the country. And then, past 5-6 years, I've been getting into helicopters, and but I still fly a lot of airplanes. And
Right.
then Scott, he joined the club, and he flies a lot of airplanes. He's not a helicopter guy yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, we have a lot of fun out here. We fly drones, helicopters, airplanes.
Yeah, I knew this place was out here, and then I drove by. I seen you out there, I guess, flying earlier, and I said, well, I'm gonna swing back by
That
there.
was
a
the
little
other
bit.
guy.
Yeah.
He just left. But he's got family over here. He's doing a Sunday
Camping or
family
something. Yeah.
thing. They live over here by the lake. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It keeps me out of the bars.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
But,
That's the same old thing there.
Yeah, exactly. Same girls, same. But yeah, we have a lot of fun doing this. We lease from the Army Corps of Engineers, and we're redoing our runway right now. We're in the middle of that. That's why it's all dirt. But only downside out here is all these little bugs. But I really love it. It
Yeah.
gives me
Is
something
that
to
electric
do.
or gas or?
I go all electric with my
Oh, do you?
stuff.
Yeah.
The old days was gas and nitro and all that, and it was messy, it was noisy,
Right.
it would annoy neighbors.
Yeah.
The electric stuff is so nice,
Smooth.
real smooth, real safe.
What's the flight time on something like that?
Oh, this is 12S. It's 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes.
But I've got some airplanes that, with a big battery, can fly 15-20 minutes, but most airplanes fly about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, the EDF jets. they
Let's
fly-
have longer because they glide
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
the EDF jets are usually about 3 minutes, 5 if you're really pushing it.
Yeah.
So because they use so much more power, you know, the electric.
Technology's come a long way, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, and
What's the weight of something like that?
maybe 12 pounds or something. But I've got an airplane over here in the trailer. It is about 32 pounds.
32 pounds?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big one.
We're allowed to go up to 55 pounds without special
Wow.
permits from the FAA, but
That's daggone heavy.
yeah. But you know, the right plane that flies like it's light,
Right.
and it's a lot of fun. You thinking about picking up an RV,
Doing what now?
recreational vehicle RV?
No, I've got one. I'm gonna move it down my mom. I got 10 acres in Horn Lake, and I'm just selling it. I'm single, and you know, I don't ever have any company or anything. I've worked 32 years developing it. Got it all pretty and everything, fish ponds and all that, and so I just go on and sell it. And I'm gonna move down there. She's 82. She's got 24 acres, and sort of help her keep that up. Find somebody to do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then I'm gonna do some traveling. And I thought maybe later on I might try the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of buddies over there. They're living at large over there.
I was just watching a YouTube channel. This guy, Sailing Doodles, and he goes down to the Philippines with boats and travels the world. And then there's another sailing channel. I grew up down by the ocean, so I watch a lot of sailboat stuff.
Right.
And it's great. YouTube is really a good thing. You can.
That's the reason I started these videos. It's better than taking pictures and putting them in photo albums, and possibly they could burn up, or when you die, I mean, they're gonna just throw them away. So, but YouTube's there forever. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. And there anything you're interested in, like I ride motorcycles.
Yeah, I do too. Sure. There's
yeah.
mine right there.
Oh, okay. This is I got 5 bikes, but this is my 2 nice ones.
Oh yeah.
A couple soft tail slam
Yeah.
bikes, but I'd moved down here and everything's new to me. So there's a Natchez Trace Trail that's unbelievably nice, especially to the north of Tupelo. I've never been to Florida. I've never seen Georgia much, except for the airport. You know, the Carolinas, I've only been in little spots in North Carolina where I got family, but Tennessee, there's some beautiful areas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Right. Towards Spring River up in there, and then anywhere between here and Nashville, if you take all the back roads, it's beautiful, curvy, windy road.
Yeah. And there's some guys out here that want to ride in clubs and all that. I just ride for
solo with a couple of buddies is good enough. Trip here and there.
I don't need a bunch of club bylaws and stuff. I'm into just being free.
Well, I had that one built in '98 when my first wife passed away from breast cancer. They don't have maybe 11,000 miles on it. And I trailered it to Daytona and all different places. A wall full of trophies and all that, and I still got it. I mean,
beautiful. What size engine's on it?
It's a 1300cc Yamaha. And the only reason I bought that is because it had the best warranty back in '98, 5-year unlimited mileage.
I used to have a V-Star.
Yeah.
An 02.
It's similar.
But I've still got some old Hondas and old Yamahas. And I'm into all kinds of bikes.
Right.
You know, there's some people that want to snub their nose at this and that bike. I'm into riding and having fun.
I got a buddy that's sort of having flashbacks when he was 18 or 19, the LTD 1000 or whatever. He just bought one, he just totally restored. He bought it last week. But back then, he was known for the guy doing wheelies down the road at 80 and 100 mile an hour. So I hope he doesn't try to do it now.
Yeah.
But he might now.
You get older, it kind of cuts you back on all that.
He's a wild card now. He's liable to try it. But
I've had my neck fused, so I quit jumping and doing wheelies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I love it. It's the RC stuff. There's too many of us with gray hair.
Yeah.
So we try and get kids into it, you know, and it's a lot of fun.
Pretty neat stuff.
Keeps me out of trouble. And they got all these gyros and stuff now.
Oh yeah.
That help you learn.
It's amazing, these drones and all that. What's the radio control distance on something like this? 1,000 feet? I mean, 1,000 yards or something?
Legally, we're only allowed to go visual distance,
Yeah.
but like this drone over here will go 5 miles, but not
All the way right in
legally.
your box.
Yeah, but you know that's
Yeah.
an older drone there. I've got a couple of them, but there's a lot of our club members are FedEx pilots and employees.
FedEx.
FedEx has got their hub
I'm
right here.
retired for 28 years.
Okay.
Road driver.
Okay.
Yep. Sure.
So we got
Accident free.
mechanics and pilots and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd say maybe half the club is FedEx employees or ex-employees, and
Yeah, they make good money. They just spend it on what they want, and they prefer something like that, you know, a hobby like that. Like you said, it keeps you out of the bars, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get in trouble if you do the bar. Now, this is your older drone here in the case.
yeah, this is a DJI drone.
You sure you don't mind me
Oh, I
videoing?
don't know. No, we love showing off
It's
stuff.
another.
And Scott can tell you
Oh,
about
yeah.
his airplanes. He always brings a bunch of cool stuff.
Oh yeah,
But these are camera drone.
right.
Because there's drones that are out there, racers that zip around between trees.
Yeah.
This one is,
These are all cameras that mount to it.
no, these are just batteries.
Oh, okay.
The camera's on the bottom.
Oh yeah, at
down
the bottom.
there. But
Is that one like you strap your phone to it, or you got a
Well,
waist thing, or
this one, the
an iPad?
computer,
Like,
this will mount up here on this. So
Okay,
that way you
okay.
can see what you're doing.
right.
But we've got a FedEx pilot, female, who retired, and now she's flying these drones. So she's got some questions and stuff. So if I brought mine out,
Yeah.
but I haven't flown this one in years. But yeah, we have all kinds of. In the old days, the airplanes were only balsa,
Yeah.
and he's got like that one's balsa and carbon fiber. But then I've got some that are a bunch of foam airplanes, and then I've got some that are balsa. And
Huh.
the sport is really, the hobby has really grown
Yeah.
leaps and bounds. And
Well, they got some that's just ungodly big.
there's some
I mean,
that
so
are
it's-
big,
and-
there's some that are really small for
Yeah.
fly around your yard.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything out there for folks.
I bought one last year, a little bitty one that folds out and all, and as soon as I did it, landed in a tree. And I had to get a ladder and get it out, and I just put it back in the case, and that's where it's been.
Yeah. I've used this 30-06 to get some of mine out of trees.
Shoot
Shoot
the
half the
limb, but-
branch and then it just, but that's why I joined this club. It's big enough that I can fly my larger stuff
Right.
that I can't fly around my house, my yard.
Right.
You know, I've only got 10 acres, but a lot of trees around.
Right. This is nice. They put this down. I don't know how long this place has been here, but it's nice.
I
have
think it's
an area
been
like
here
that.
about 10 years. The
Really?
club has had 5 different locations
Yeah.
over the past 25 years. But now Scott's airplane, that one, that's a real nice and expensive.
Yeah.
He's a real good pilot. He flies warbirds and all kinds of stuff.
You fixing to get out there and fly, huh?
Yeah,
Let me check
I don't know
in
if
there.
he's got a battery charged up yet or not, but
Now, is that gas or electric?
that's electric.
Electric. How you doing, sir?
Alrighty.
I'm Tony.
How you doing, Tony?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, that is something too. I think it's probably 4 or 5 foot long, ain't it?
It's a 64-inch wingspan.
You remember when they used to have the Action Hobby out there at Mendenhall?
I don't remember that.
I think it's one of the first hobby shops they. Wow, man, you got some big stuff in there.
I tried
Look how
to.
big that plane is.
Yeah, well, it's actually smaller than the black and white.
Well, I take it you've been doing this a long time too.
I did at one point. I flew a bunch of nitro planes. Then I was out of the sport for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And then I started getting back in it at about this time last year.
Huh. And you still got some of the stuff you had back then. You just never.
Most of everything was out of date.
Yeah.
It either
Obsolete.
it wouldn't talk to it, or it was, no, you don't want to use that. This does so much more.
Right. Right.
And
Not like a phone or a laptop or anything that's obsolete after a year or something.
yes, and of course I had sold all my planes and stuff.
Right.
I'd only known how valuable a few of them models would have been like keeping a baseball card.
I'm glad I stopped by here. This is interesting.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we'll get kids with families that see us flying and stop in,
They were swinging in.
and then we try and recruit them and get them into the club. And
Yeah.
we've got, and nowadays, you can have a one transmitter will wirelessly talk with the other one,
Uh huh.
so you can have a student flying around.
Let them with you, and if
and if
something
they get in
happens,
trouble, we can hit a switch and take over.
yeah, take it over. Yeah.
And save the airplane. And then there's, I mean, we've got kids as young as 4 years old. out here
Wow.
flying.
Wow. That's. I
And
bet you have them show up down here with RC cars and everything, run them around the
Yeah.
drag.
Yeah, a lot of the kids really love the cars because they're easier, you know, and so we try and get folks into it any way we can. You know, I mean,
What's the name of your club?
we're the Tail Draggers.
Okay.
Is our
Is
name?
there
Mississippi RC.
is there a website or an email?
Yeah.
That's what I just told you.
Yeah, Mississippi. What is it? North Mississippi RC.
Radio Control Club.
North
Yeah.
Mississippi Radio Control.
Yeah.
And where can they find it? Just Google that up, or is it a website?
It'll come right up. We got a Facebook page, and we have our own site.
Okay.
But I've got boats and cars and tanks.
You mentioned a boat. Back when I was probably 15, I ordered a wooden kit, the Baja buggy or something, and it was a swamp buggy. And
Okay.
he glued it all together and everything, and the motor mounted on the top in a frame. And when I painted it, it wouldn't dry. I put the wrong glue, shellac or varnish on it. It never did dry. It was always sticky.
Oh, not
And I
enough
never
hardware.
could get it running, and so I ended up selling it to a pawn shop for $50 or something like that. But man, I would have loved to have got that thing going.
Yeah, I've got sailboats and power boats, and
Yeah.
the sport has just got so much to it, and I've got, you know, monster truck cars and
Yeah.
desert racer
You got a shop
trucks.
just especially for all that stuff, obviously. A shed out back.
Oh yeah, I'm a single guy, so my whole house looks like a hobby shop.
It don't matter where you put it then.
I probably got 200 airplanes.
This might be why you're not married either.
Can't
It's
understand
the
why
way
I
to
don't have
go,
a girl.
man. It's the way to go.
But like I said, it keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah.
And
It's cheaper than having a wife too. Well,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
it depends. It depends on how deep you get with it.
I spend a lot more money in sitting in bars every day than I have
Oh yeah.
with RC stuff, and I've spent over $100,000 in RC stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I
And that
wouldn't
doesn't
doubt
take
it.
too long, but
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, a couple $100, you can get something that's ready to fly.
Yeah, something to go get your interest anyway.
And they make simulators now where you can fly the simulator of what's on the shelf for sale before you even buy it.
Yeah.
So you can learn to fly it before you even spend your money on.
Yeah.
So it's really can save you a lot, you know. And
Yeah. That simulator's about like being there, really.
yeah, these days.
If you,
But,
get,
you
if you
know,
get a good one, you know.
I met a lot of friends with this club
Yeah.
and other clubs, and I go out to Birmingham every 6 months to another club that with the Morris school system, they have 200 kids
Yeah.
that come up in 8 school buses, and they teach them all to fly. And the mayor comes out and pays for the fireworks show, and
Yeah.
it's a STEM project. So.
And my niece's husband, they're into the RC oval shape. They had a place down here in Tunica indoors that they put the dirt in there and all that. And they were racing. They were giving all kinds of stuff. They taught me into that, and I bought a track and something else and doctored them all up and made them look neat like old
Traxxas.
46 Chevy or something like that. And never did race them. I was scared to get out there with them, you know. And so I ended up, they went on a wedding or something like that, and I said, here, just take all this stuff and sell it and put it toward your honeymoon.
Oh. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of good friends.
Right.
And it gives us something to do, and I really enjoy it.
So his flight time's also about 5 minutes?
You could ask him. I assume it is. Scott, what is your flight time on that?
Well, since I got these new premium batteries, I'm getting about 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yep. Which is good, considering like really pouring the coal to it.
You do all the stunts and everything, huh?
I'm working up to that. Remember, I've only been back in this
Right.
about a year. So,
Now, like that wind just picked up. Now, will that mess you
Yeah.
up any?
oh yeah. If you knew, you don't want to mess with it.
If y'all got a meter or something that tells you the wind
You
speed?
can log in. We have our own weather station that's up here. You can log into our site and it'll tell
Oh,
you.
okay. Wow.
That way you can know. Do I want to go out there? There's a wind blowing 40 miles an hour and waste my time?
Yeah.
You can log in and see where we're at.
Wow.
Yeah, the market's getting better and better for selling houses.
Now, is there a place here local or around Memphis or whatever that sells all this stuff?
You can go to the Summer Avenue.
Summer and Mendenhall in Memphis
Yeah.
is Twin Cities Hobbies,
Yeah.
and they got everything. But and then D&D Sports is over here in Olive Branch.
They got cars.
And they
Yeah.
sell all of it. Drones,
They sell
planes,
cars. They don't sell much aircraft. They sell, drag race cars and rock crawlers and
Yeah.
car stuff, surface. But the one up in Memphis, they sell airplanes, drones, everything.
Yeah.
And they even got trains. They got everything.
Right, right.
You can
Well,
spend a
years ago
fortune.
when I was young, there was a place that opened up at Mendenhall in Winchester called Action Hobby. And they had all kinds of stuff. That place was booming for years, and for some reason it closed down. But man, that dude was good with a helicopter. I mean, zzz, 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 zzz.
We've got some guys. I'm learning with the helicopters, but we got some guys.
Can you do all that? Zzz, 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 zzz?
No, I fly scale,
No, just
but they'll take a helicopter like that big one over there, flip it upside down, and go cut the
oh, yeah,
grass
you're
and
right,
not
yeah.
even
Yeah,
crash.
it's crazy.
They can do all that stuff. I fly around. I'm learning.
You're scared to try it, right?
I do it on the simulator, but I'm like he said, I'm working my way up there.
Right.
But
Well, just that first attempt to maybe just try it upside down, it makes it. Well,
yeah,
let me get over
penalty
the grass.
points are a little high.
Yeah, let me get over the grass instead of the concrete in case it.
And then his airplanes, what are those, about 9 pounds? 7?
I want to say more like 7 or 8 minus the battery.
Each one of those are 7 or 8 pounds.
Yeah, minus the battery. With the battery, you're looking at about 10.
How many is the most guys that's been out here one time? Y'all had a competition or anything, or?
Well, we had a competition, and people came from even Georgia, and there was about 150 people out here, I heard. I was
yeah.
off at this club.
3 states.
Yeah.
We had 3 people from Arkansas, Tennessee, and Georgia, besides Mississippi.
Huh.
Yeah. And Tennessee, I imagine.
Just like anything, they just come in from everywhere looking for a place like this.
Well, we advertised the Fun Fly, which
On that
is
Facebook.
we feed everybody, and you get a chance to fly somewhere different,
Yeah.
meet other people, get other ideas, that kind of stuff. And of course, we had some fun competition.
Yeah.
And one of them
Somebody
was-
always shows up with something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which was one of the things I was in, which is a speed competition. We put GPS in the plane
Clock them.
and run them, and then when you land, you pull the GPS out and tell you top speed.
Yeah. Have y'all ever done anything like that? What they do, they launch like 50 or 100 planes,
No,
and
we
they
haven't done
try to knock each other out of the sky and
No,
stuff.
we hadn't done that. No, they want to do that with this plane called an Aero Scout, which is like a cheap phone plane,
Yeah.
beginner
Right.
plane.
Something you don't lose a lot of money out of.
Right. And they're hard to tear up. You really have to really brutalize them.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about having the Aero Scout War Day.
Yeah.
But to me, my deal's speed. Like I got my plane up to 184 miles an hour.
Man, they just about penetrate a brick wall, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Cut you in half if
she
you hit a
is
person.
singing. She is singing. No, I hadn't flown her since we pulled a runway up, and we're getting ready to put our new stuff down. But we got to have the Corps here to do some work for us to make so it drains off better. As you can see, we got spots out there. where
Right,
it's just
water
level.
puddles, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that thing don't take very far to take off, does it? Like 20 feet or something, or?
You can do that. You generally want to make sure you got enough what we call wet elevator,
Right.
which is the back part of the airplane.
Instead of right off the bat.
Well, you want to make sure that that's wet, which means that it is responding to air.
Yeah.
so that you can have better control more than just ailerons. And the problem-
Yeah.
well, that's possible, but most people they just pour the coal to it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hey, did you bring that tiger ball?
Yeah,
Well, trot that baby out. I want to see that big monster.
it's not set up yet. I
Was it
hoping
bigger than
Brian
your
would be
plane?
here to help me.
Oh, you're talking about a drone?
No, it's a 19 something, like 1914, 1915 plane. The plane used to see all the time in all the horror movies in the beginning.
Oh, really? Like the three-wing Red Baron
it's
thing?
a two-wing deal.
Really?
Yeah, and it's all hairy looking and everything because the cloth they made back then was just regular.
Oh, yeah. The wood frame and then the cloth with the
They put
shellac.
cotton over it, and they had some type of a liquid that they painted on it,
Yeah.
but it never lasted. They didn't have the technology for it to last.
Right.
So every couple of years, they'd have to strip everything off of it and recoat
I
it.
imagine the fuel sort of bubbles it up and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no telling. Those guys are brave flying those things.
That
But they were
sounds
the
pretty.
pioneers. So, Paul, who was here earlier and left?
Bryce,
Bryce?
he knew you were going to be here. So
Pretty neat stuff.
Uh-oh, is that one flight ready?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that?
Check
I
that
don't
out.
have a battery charged for it yet. And then that Tiger Moth this is a 3 or 4S. The Tiger Moth is a 12S.
That is neat.
But this is styrofoam,
Yeah. Now, that's electric too?
Yeah, yes it is.
Have you had that one a while?
Yeah, I've crashed it before. So,
Wow, that is neat.
I have to do some gluing on it, but and then I got an electric jet over here down on the grass. And
Yeah, I was film that. Now, that's mostly styrofoam also?
Yeah.
Man, but that thing is scat. And when you come out, what's the average? I mean, how many of you got? Do you fly them all, or just 2 or 3 of them, or
Well, it
depends?
varies. Like this doesn't like a real heavy wind.
Yeah,
Where the jet
it's
can
real
fly in the
sensitive being
wind.
styrofoam.
So, I mean, the styrofoam airplanes, they can take wind.
Yeah.
It's just a biplane doesn't like wind. It's
Right.
got more drag to it.
Huh.
But, there's different ones for different stuff.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, and I have to. Scott, do you have any foam tack? I got super glue, but I don't know if that's what I should really use. I got one of my strut supports come loose, but this one's a little beat up,
That means it's been used.
Yeah, the hard part is transporting them without getting them beat up.
Yeah,
We call it hanger rash.
yeah. Well, putting a motor in, taking a motor out. so-
Walking through doorways and bang,
Sure.
bumping them, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, they're a lot
That
of
is
fun.
neat.
I've got World War I stuff, World War II. I
Yeah.
got
I don't
jets.
know how much you need, but there may be some in this. Need a
I've
lot?
got. This one strut is just.
Just see what you can
that
get out
might
of
be-
there.
Now the wind didn't pick up until you pulled up and started unloading.
Murphy's Law.
It figures, huh?
Shut up.
That's a wooden prop.
No, that's plastic. I just
Oh.
tried to make it look like wood.
It looks like wood.
It was yellow, and I took a Sharpie to it,
Yeah, yeah.
and then tried to make it look like
Did
wood.
a good job. Good job.
I used to build a lot of plastic models when I was a
Right.
kid, so I'd have a lot of fun just tinkering around with that stuff.
That is neat. You know, that helicopter, when you run it, does it make that zzz, zzz?
Yeah,
Pretty
kinda-
hum, it's pretty loud.
yeah. You gotta be careful with them because that carbon fiber blades
Right.
cut your head off if you do
Oh,
the wrong thing.
I bet.
Literally, they can bite you. But
Safety measure, when you just set it out there to get it ready, you gotta make sure you don't hit a button or something.
yeah,
Automatically.
there's safety switches we set up, and and then we got AMA's got pilots only behind the fence.
And is that his servo, his remote thing there?
Oh, that's just a stereo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's technology these days has really made it nice, where you can really have some fun with stuff.
Right. And that's considered a charging station. That's where you're charging your batteries and all that.
No, we just have marine batteries. We don't have electricity out here, so we have the panel that gets solar, and then
Yeah.
just do it that way.
Huh.
It would cost us a whole bunch of money to get some power out here.
And like my truck, it's got regular house plug-ins in it
Yeah,
to plug something up to it.
the technology these days, even in the trucks,
Yeah.
it's kind of
I
nice.
doubt if it'll run a microwave or anything, but it'll run a drill or something like that, I'm sure.
Perfect, Scott, and there's even glue left. I just used a little tiny bit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mr. Charlie's here.
There's one of the FedEx mechanics. He's one of the oldest FedEx employees.
He might recognize him when he gets out.
Probably.
Now I was working for the FedEx Freight Division. We were Arkansas Freightway, and then I changed the name to American Freightway, and then FedEx came in and bought us and started a division of FedEx Freight.
Yeah, he does the APU engines on the jets. He rebuilds those, I believe.
Yeah.
He's fixing to retire.
Huh.
I think he's like the fourth oldest employee at FedEx, something like that.
Yeah, I went out about 11 years ago with my back.
Sorry to hear
Just
you had
wasn't
back
taking it
trouble,
easy.
But
Wow. That
there's
is-
the wind dying down a little bit
yeah.
for us.
I built 150 people up here, man. Y'all got stuff laying everywhere.
Yeah.
Sort of limited on what you can bring out of the van.
Well, that balsa biplane I've got, it doesn't like the sunshine, so I got to kind of keep it in the shade.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie.
How are you?
Pretty good. You might want to interview him.
Yeah, what
He's got a YouTube.
what part of FedEx? I retired from FedEx Freight, 28 years.
Oh, I'm Charlie. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I work out at the airport. So,
Okay,
in
okay.
Express. So.
Yeah, I was the division FedEx Freight when they bought American
Sure.
Freightway out. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 28 years. Road driver.
That's a long.
Are you into this stuff too? You got all this?
I have helicopters today. I started to bring an airplane out, but I have a lot of batteries charged up from yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
you doing okay?
Pardon?
Are you doing okay?
Oh yeah, doing fine. I was out riding around. I thought I could see if the levee and all that stuff was open. Got down there, it's still blocked off,
Yeah.
But I asked a girl down at the store. Went in there and got me a bottle of water. And I asked her, was it open? She says, yeah, I was just down there Thursday. I said, okay, I'll ride down there. Didn't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Got down there, it's still closed off. It'll be years for that place to be back
Yeah,
right.
we hear every story in the world. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll fix it or just let it be. That's what we're hearing. Is
Right,
that,
right.
They may not even fix it.
Yeah, that's true. It's been what's it been, about a year now? It's been shut down.
Oh, I think it's been longer than that.
Has it? Yeah.
I think so.
Right.
It's been at least a year.
Where's the hole supposed to be, in the levee part, or who knows?
No, I've heard people say that it's trying to go underneath,
Okay.
and that's why they were.
It might be the levee road up there, and it might have shifted just an inch or two. It's, oh, we got to shut it down.
The Corps guys come through here, you know, I don't know if they're Rangers or just Corps guys, but they go up through there and
Corps engineer.
yeah, this is all their land. So, well, I say there, I mean they're in charge of it. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on there that I've never paid any attention to.
Families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee we take you to the clock, get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be fun, so
Well, thing's quiet, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the nice part about electric.
River Falls, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-515-1771. That's 800-515-1771. 800-515-1771.
Really nice day weather-wise. There's plenty of sunshine. We get pretty warm at the start of next week. Monday we should be in the mid to upper 80s. I'm News Channel 3 weather expert Max Claypool.
Hitting that's a little bit weird, but it works.
Weird in what way?
It's just the feel of it, looking through it.
Yeah. It would be hard for me. I can't even wear rings.
Yeah, it was bothering me so much before. God Christ.
Yeah. Get mad.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even fly the helicopter yesterday.
Man, that thing goes completely out of sight of this camera. I ain't no rid of it.
They just got bored. And that helicopter is like a $2,000 helicopter. I bought that for $450.
That is sharp. Old Snoopy. Snoopy, hang on.
Now I got a Messerschmitt 262 back there.
A53X.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be darned.
it just, like I said, it keeps me out of trouble. Gives me something to do. It's fun.
Man, that's a big old battery right there now.
Yeah, it's $200 for the big one.
That's some weight.
Yeah.
That's just like one of them little old, like a Traxxas, a little car. Man, them batteries cost out the ass, man.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them too.
Yeah.
If I can use this in my other car.
Now they're making NASCAR ones.
Down for parts.
That are not that big.
Yeah.
They look pretty cool, but like you were saying, you got to have one of those circle tracks and buddies that do it.
Right.
Belongs to the public, yeah. So we asked them, and they told us one time what the problem was, but my memory's so bad,
Right.
I can't remember. It seemed the first report that we had was that if they had the political will to spend the money to do
Yeah.
it, they could fix it in no time.
Right.
But
Well, I know
then-
it don't look like any action's going on down there.
Where'd you get the net from?
But oh no, I
Walmart,
don't think they've done
camping
anything other than
supplies?
investigate.
I went in there looking,
Yeah.
I couldn't find it.
But
went
the
to San
other
Antonio and
reports
they had a
that we've
whole
heard was
stack
it was a
of
lot
them. They
more
were
serious,
about
and that's
$5.
why they
Right.
were thinking about just keeping the water level down and not
Right, just leave it like
I
that
got
the rest of
another
his
one
days.
somewhere, but
well, until somebody decides that we need it. So-
Right.
I need to
So
stretch
they,
this one
I
out.
mean, they were all
It
built,
sucks up next
from
to
my
my face.
understanding, for flood control.
Yeah, it fits the
And
purpose.
they're not the secondary.
I think
was
it might
recreation.
help you.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
You cut a small
if,
hole
if
in
they
the
feel
top
like they don't need it for flood
and
control, then
let it come down around your hat, because you're not worried about getting bit in the hat. You understand what I'm saying? Let it go
yeah,
down
I
further,
mean,
that way it won't be
I
as close up to
grew
your face.
closer to Sardis.
It's
and
only $5.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't work.
You ever know a John Barnett?
I mean,
I like that.
John Barnett? They had a big family barn at Sardis around all in that area.
No, I grew up in New Albany, but
Oh, okay. My
it's
mom
only
lives in
about-
Red Banks. That's where they lived in Red Banks on Red Banks exit
Yeah,
Folks are driving me
that's
crazy
closer
right here, right
to
now.
this.
on 78.
Yeah, see, I was.
You live
70
farther on
miles
out?
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
New Albany is about 70 miles from,
Yeah,
60, 70 miles from Olive Branch. So
closer to where the Farises own that town down there.
That name's very familiar. The lawyers.
All the
yeah.
lawyers, they own in some little town, Ashland.
Ashland, and they have their own little airport out there.
Right, yeah.
Just a lot of things.
They own it.
But New Albany is, again, a little bit further down.
Right.
But we were fairly close to Sardis, in the sense that, we would go diagonally. Of course, from here you just go straight
Yeah.
down. But anyway, that's real big on recreation. And
I almost headed down that way today. I was gonna go down there to Ripley for a little bit, but
yeah,
yeah, I did.
yeah, Ripley, Ashland, they're all right. My only relatives I got left live close to Ripley. So.
What is it, a couple of hawks?
Peregrine falcon. You got a different wing than a hawk.
Yeah, I saw one flying low over the road, and I said, Scott's flying a little bit of a long downwind.
There's a turkey buzzard. A vulture's got a completely different
No,
wing.
at first it fooled me.
Oh, yeah.
Just doing this, big old wingspan. I don't know what kind of thing.
There's about 3 of them up there.
Yeah, they might be protecting their area or something and trying to run that vulture off.
Yeah. We get wild turkeys out here. There's all kinds of.
Deer.
Hey, I like that cloud. Been a little warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought everybody was coming out this afternoon.
Yeah, I brought hot dogs.
You never can tell.
Bryce was out here when I showed up, but I brought my tiger moth, but I don't know if I have the right receiver for it. I got to do some mix to get the elevator servos to match up, I guess.
Yeah.
But
All right. They didn't put this back up there.
the broken one.
Light's great. That's it. I think the other.
I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna start it back when they start flying something. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, I've still got to charge batteries.
So, you been doing any fun?